Hey YouTube, Moose Cow here to report that Madman and I managed to get another game of BBR in over the weekend, in person this time, hence why the boneyard dish is as full as it is. But anyway, so we did a full 12 or 13 hours of playing this pretty much straight through with just a quick little break here and there. And this time it was a very, very different game from our last one, where Madman conceded to me after being diced repeatedly. This time it was very, very different outcome, and I was the Axis, and Madman was again the Allies, and I lost this time. But anyway, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an overview, it's been a few days, so I've just had it set up and just left it untouched. But I'll just give you guys an overview of what went down, and just kind of do this is what happened with our game. So again, we're trying to practice for the tournament that's coming up in a few weeks. Very excited. Been talking to everybody in the WhatsApp group about it and stuff, and yeah, just gearing up, and we're stoked. Anyway, so first off, let's go with the tech. What was developed. Italy had a tech going, but was never able to develop it. I had a strategy, things changed, and ultimately it didn't pan out and wasn't worthwhile to develop it. Germany, I tried heavy bombers. Japan, super battleships. Russia, self-propelled artillery, of course. US also developed super battleships. UK, improved transports. And Commonwealth developed super subs. All these were very good choices for one reason or another. Let's see, we had a G3 attack against Russia. We had a J2. I'm a big fan of J2s. Might change it up for the tournament, but big fan of J2. Anyway, so basically what happened with the Pacific, the US and Japan, once at war, Japan, I did the usual, with Japan. Pretty much took out most of China immediately, but I never actually had China, the entirety of China for the duration of the game. Japan and US were very quickly, once they were at war, were in just a complete arms race. He was just stocking up a big navy here in 26. I had a bunch of stuff in 6. Neither of us had a comfortable amount to attack the other person, but that's what he was doing, and I obviously have to protect Japan. And we were, trying to call each other's bluff as to what our tech was, but we both eventually had an inkling that the other person also had super battleships. So eventually, what happened at the end of the game, I think on round 7, U.S. just went for it and attacked me in Season 6. Kamikazes were never activated, so I didn't have that added defense, but ultimately I beat him and pushed him back. But then, because he had the Anzac super subs and a few other ships here, he was able, and I didn't have any more destroyers after the battle, he was able to knock out my transports, and because he was able to target select them in that one instance where you can, and knock out a few other units that I had, pretty much, just to cripple me for that eighth round of play. Russia declared war on Japan around turn 3 or 4, and at that point, after what happened in a previous game with dealing with a horde of Russians in Manchuria, I was like, nope, not dealing with that, and so I attacked the forces he brought back into Amur and just took them all out, which activated the Mongolian rule. But the cavalry, they really weren't able to really do anything. He attacked with them, and I beat him back. So we got one Mongolian left who's still alive. This guy was knocked out over here or so, and as you see, we have a few Japanese territories. Mongolian territories under Japanese control. But yeah, this is the one Mongolian that's survived the war, and because of just the natural state of a lot of things, UK had a sizable force come in here that I had to deal with as well. Anzac and Anzac was able to come in because of the distraction up here, and because knock out my transports, they were able to come in and take some of the money islands back, enough to knock out my world oil. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, here was so by the end of the game, this is what I had. Axis victory point wise, I had Berlin, Tokyo, Rome, lost Warsaw, I'll get to that in a bit, Shanghai, Paris, Hong Kong, Leningrad, resources, Stalingrad, and I had several others, but that last turn, he was able to just barely chip away a bunch of them. So it's a lot of units. Okay, let's see. He did his typical. Or not typical, but he did his strategy. He did the same purchase last time where he bought a bunch of tanks and mech as Russia, and he reserved Eastern Iran and Northwest Iran for Russia. The battle between Russia and Germany was very, very neck and neck for a bunch of it. He lost his air force prematurely in, I think, Belarus. It was either Belarus or Bryansk. I think it was Belarus. No, last time it was Bryansk. This time it was Belarus. But yeah, I was able to knock out his air force and kind of cripple him after a few turns, around turn 4 or something like that. And then after that, it was just several skirmishes back and forth. I actually had Moscow surrounded at one point, but I screwed up and did not have Denmark fortified enough. U.S. came in and took Denmark, and then what was it? The UK then, that allowed the UK with their improved transports to come in and do a Berlin bank job, and stole all of my money. I was able to take it back as Germany, but then the US came and did it again. It was so painful. Oh man. And then Italy was able to come in, but US also took Warsaw, so that knocked down another victory city that I was just not in a position to take back. And that just brought this front to a screeching halt because everything had to go back over here that could make it to, because otherwise it's an automatic loss. So, yep, he did his first Berlin bank job twice, no doubt. So he got to cross something off his bucket list. It's been a while since I've had that happen. It's one of the reasons I don't play Classic anymore. Italy, my Italy game, he pulled a very interesting strategy that took care of, that pretty much crippled Italy from the beginning, utilizing the UK Navy to, instead of pulling it out and giving me that NO, he brought it over here from the get-go. And then as I had started building up with an Air Force and stuff, he then took everything he had and more or less suicided against me, and I scrambled, of course, because I kind of had to. But that just completely knocked everything down for Italy, and then bringing subs in to sap my money. There were actually 2 other U.S. subs in here, but I was able to knock them out with a destroyer and Air Force, but he got me back with the destroyer, so against the destroyer, so. Lucky there. Italy was never officially kicked off the continent of Africa. Pretty much one of my main strategies with Italy is just if things aren't going south, or if things start to go south, which usually is the case, I just try to be as annoying as possible. So no attacks, just relocation and trying to get them out of position. The Canadians from Egypt actually took these territories. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Let's see. Japan came into Tunguska and broke up that Trans-Siberian Railway. The French cruiser from '93 actually survived the war, and that is what's right there. South America went pro-Axis at the end, but was never in a position to... the Allies were never in a position to really take it, so nothing really happened down here besides the UK seizing Brazil, but not bringing over the 3 guys. So that was kind of interesting. There was not a sea lion this time, obviously, because that would have made everything a completely different story. I was able to blitz down into northwest Iran, but unfortunately The UK took that back there. And let's see what else. The U.S. took French Indochina, which was just enough to knock down the imperial point. Because Russia was able to come back, that cost me the Reich point pretty much, but I did get resources. Obviously, the U.S. took Manila back. So just like a series of events. So I had this game in the bag, and then the last 2 rounds just was a domino effect of things. And the entire time, Madman was telling me that I probably had it, and sure enough, he was able to come through with an Allied victory. So congratulations, Madman. Great game as always. Looking forward to playing with you at the tournament. I believe we're playing against, I forget their names, but their team name is the Wild Wests, I think, or Wild West, or something like that. I believe that's who we're playing against. And our team will be Madman, myself, Moose Cow, and our friend Mr. Scrubbert, who will be only available for the first 2 days. So he will just be our third person tagging along. He'll be Italy day 2. We're allies. It's the first day. He'll be Italy day 2 and U.S. day 1, and so on and such. So our team name will be the Mad Moose Disease. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at right now. I will be bringing my cigar box income tracker. I'll also bring my little fuel gauge marker. I'll be bringing one of my dice tray carts, and maybe a few other little things to help out with the tournament. Chaplain's going to have 4 tables going, at least 4 people at each table. COVID's still a scary thing, but I figure with the way everything is, this has been such a crucial part of killing time during lockdowns and stuff. We're just too excited, and we gotta brave it and risk it. See if I can get the vaccine before I go, but who knows? Anyway, so that's about the state of things. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. I don't think so. But yeah, that's pretty much a little overview of our game. So if you guys are watching, I'll see you at the tournament. And let's all roll the dice better, but mostly me.